Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another randomised gaming stream. I am your host for this stream, as always, Random Gamer Riven. And so, having done Sonic last night, I thought, well, we haven't actually covered any of the Sonic games. So even though technically I don't like to cover series back to back in streams, I thought, well, seeing as we haven't actually covered any of the main Sonic games, I thought, you know what, let's actually cover Sonic Jam, because this is such a fantastic collection. So hello to my viewers already in chat. Breadmaster, welcome back to the stream from yesterday. And hello to Jason Diego. Thank you for joining the stream. Thanks for sharing your memory as well. Nightmares of Sonic games, that's an odd one. Never actually had nightmares about video games. So in today's stream I'm going to be looking at the NTSC-J version of Sonic Jam. And I think I'll start with a quick, before I actually do the 3D world, because I need to nip downstairs for a second, I'm going to give you a quick movie. So I'll do one of the wonderful animations that you included. Now, I was always under the impression the US version had slightly different videos. So the PAL version contains all the Japanese videos. I was always under the impression that there's tails flying overhead. Is that the history? No, that's not the movie theatre. Where's the movie theatre? Gallery. Gallery. It's the movie theatre. Let's quickly watch. Let's watch this one just while I nip downstairs for a second. Fantastic intro there. I must admit, I'm of the mindset the Japanese soundtrack, and it was actually the European one as well, is vastly better. I like the US theme, Sonic Boom. That's fantastic. But they get the music themes all wrong in the US one, because the whole point of the music is when you're in the future, it's supposed to be happy. You know, when you're in the past, it's supposed to be happy before Robotnik takes it over, and when it's in the future, it's supposed to be sad and chaotic. But the US one mixes it up. I think part of the reason for that is there was a weird thing where Sega of America had their own sound team. So I'll quickly look at one. Actually, no, I won't show any more commercials. I partly want to show the ending, but I might show that at the end. Incidentally, although that Sonic CD's opening, that's not taken from the Mega CD version. I think that's taken from the PC version. That was basically unused, I think, except for the PC version, that intro. So effectively, you have a Saturn ending and exit, and the exit intro. In fact, no, I will show the exit intro because it actually contains. I think it contains a deleted scene, bizarrely, from the. So I'll just quickly. Then I'll run around the 3D world briefly, and then I'll show you. Do you have any preferences, guys, on what? Seeing as you guys are here first and chatting away, what games you want me to show first? So Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, or Sonic and Knuckles? Shout your preferences if there's any particular ones you want to see. Okay, Sonic 1 it is. Incidentally, as I said, that's the full version of the intro, and in the Mega CD version, some of those animatics shown in that Saturn's version are actually missing and listed as not completed or concept work. So I'm of the mindset the original Mega CD version is cut. Just to answer your question, Diego, is Amy in any of these games? Amy's appearance is those intros, basically, sadly. Amy was, sadly... Some Sonic CD wasn't included in this collection, I think, because Yuri Nakai apparently didn't like the fact he wasn't that involved in Sonic CD. So sadly, Sonic CD should have been included in this collection, but he was allegedly had a few wobblies during the Saturn era. Although these days he's a bit sort of a washed up. Although I did hear he's recently doing a sort of semi follow-up to Knights with a new game. But yeah, basically there was. Sega should have included it, but didn't. So we've got the sound gap. I think this is the character house. Just a quick look at the various bits. So the original animations, the full animations for the Sonic CD, I think they might have been in the PC version, but if not for the Saturn's version, then yes. If the Saturn's version came before the PC version, then definitely. You may recognise some of this art as it comes from the original manuals as well. Just fantastic stuff. It's all high 480p. This is all 480i as well, so it's all high res. So I could literally take a snapshot of that and then put it on the blog, and it would just look so clean and sharp. In fact, I probably should actually go through and video all this section and actually stick it all up in the blog. Yeah, so you're technically from the Mega Drive, you're actually missing Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, although that was a Payu Payu characters there, Dr. Eggman. But that was actually a Payu Payu reissue, although it was finally released, I think, in the Sonic Mega Collection. But basically, it was a reskin of Payu Payu, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And of course, the Mega Drive version of Sonic 3D is actually missing from this, obviously because they wanted people to buy the Saturn's version. Although, strangely, the Mega Drive version didn't. The Saturn's version didn't actually. You feel like your open source stand converter doesn't handle it as nice? It should do. I'm on. Make sure you've updated your firmware. Although I must admit I haven't actually updated mine. Mine is on firmware. What did I? Some of the team members keep telling me to update it. I think it's on 0.82a. And it's just on X2 scaling, so just default scaling. But do bear in mind these are static images, so it'll be okay with the static images. When it comes to the moving stuff, it won't be as good. That was a quick look at Sonic and Knuckles stuff. So you actually see they'd already started doing computer renders at this point, compared to the hand-drawn stuff in Sonic 1. As I could tell from that perfectly shaped colouring. So yeah, sadly, Amy isn't in any of these games, Jason. I really do wish. This collection does feel a bit incomplete without Sonic CD. It should have had it, but I think that was, and there's the egg robot that we saw in Sonic R last night. Thanks for all the likes already, guys. It's always nice to see you guys liking it. Much appreciated. So, I don't mind running around the 3D world a bit, or I could jump into Sonic 1. Seeing as Red Masters asked for Sonic 1, I'll do Sonic 1 in a sec. The only thing you can really do in the 3D world other than run around is if you get 100 rings, you can... There's like a mini game where you can get 100 rings as quickly as possible. And there's a balloon to see the credits. So once you get 100 rings, you can see the credits of the game. I think this engine is actually based off of the Nights engine, because Christmas Nights did have Sonic. So in case you guys didn't realise, Christmas Nights has a Sonic bonus mode where you can fight, where basically there's a stage where you play as... There's a bonus mode in Christmas Nights where you can run around as Sonic, and you can also... Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog code for acts. Actually, secret codes, hidden places. I don't remember those hidden codes. Sonic the Hedgehog, yes. So Sonic the Hedgehog up, C, down, C. Oh, that's the debug mode, isn't it? That's the editor mode. I shoot the up, down. Is that the first cheat? Or do bear in mind this one changes modes quite heavily. So this is it does change. This game does change resolutions very, very heavily. So at the minute I'm not actually. I'm probably in 260p or something. Yep, the Sonic the Hedgehog act and sound select. Up, down, 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 left, right, A and start. Oh, that's actually a different sheet. That's not up, down, left, right, A, B, C, start. Up, down, 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 left, right, A and start. Up, down, 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 left, right, A. They actually changed it for the up, down, 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 left, right. So this is actually not, one of the things about this is not emulation. They actually recoded all the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Excellent. That was Sonic the Hedgehog 1. It did. Was that Sonic the Hedgehog? Double check, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 1, wasn't it? Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Up, down, 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 left, right, A and start. So they actually changed the code for the Japanese version. That's something I didn't realise. I've not actually played this Japanese copy. We used to have the Power one. We still do have the Power one, but the Power one, the 3D mode, doesn't work at 60 Hz, so... Now, if I get all 100 rings, I can actually see the credits, can't I? I'm just trying to remember where the last couple of rings are. Some... I can't remember where I needed to grab Tails. There's also another mini-game where you actually just have to go around and grab all the rings in the time allotted. Oh, yeah, I'm failing horribly. This section's nice to play, but it's not great controlling. And I must admit, if you perhaps had been... If this... I do wonder whether this section was a slight chance to do some sort of vertical slice demo. Well, the one thing I did see was this collection was largely a way for Japanese gamers to become more familiar with Sonic. Oh, I'm falling off the platforms there. Oh yes, this is a really lovely section. In terms of stability, everything's really sharp. It is. I mean, I think there's a few. I can actually change angles. Although do bear in mind this is quite a small environment, so it's much easier to get high frame rates out of a small environment than it is a big environment. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 we got. Now where's old Tails? Because I got to jump on him, he does come round. There he is, Tails, give me a lift, give me a lift. But yeah, it's a lovely little... I mean, it's only a short little thing, this 3D world. And you said there's lots... Okay, there we go. And I will just quickly jump through the credits to show the people who actually worked on this, and then I will jump into... So basically the ring... Oh, yeah, the controls for this section aren't great. That's the one thing I will say. So if you do the ring, get 100 gems, you then get a little bit of flicker there. You get that ring, and I just missed that totally. Hello again, Rep Lawyer. thanks for welcoming back to the stream. Thanks again, guys, for coming back. So it's always nice to see you guys all returning. And thanks for all the likes as well on the video so far. Again, if you're enjoying our content, please do hit that like button. And I will jump into Sonic 1 first, seeing as Breadmaster requested that once the credits have rolled. And I will do a proper Sonic R video that I do up to 4K based on last night's run. Although what I mean is I will rerun it again. Based on having done it last night and it was quite quick, I will do a full-on video. Try and get first and get the Chaos Emeralds and get all the coins in each race, which you can do because I've done it in the past. Yeah, great to see you guys all coming back, so really appreciate it. Really do like the artwork here, it's such a nice, and the music as well, which I'm talking over. Ah, Sonic Theme Song 93. That's the Sonic CD music. It's actually called Sonic Theme Song 93, was it? Yeah, 92 Dream Comes True. There's interestingly, Matsudo Nakamura actually has. You can listen to the original tape versions he did. There's a couple people who've got the original, like, full-on versions of the original songs, but they're not the game versions. The actual original, like, versions they did before they had to press them down for the game. The original versions are absolutely fantastic, and I really wish they did a port of the original Sonic with those enhanced music because they just sound fantastic. Okay, so let's exit out of the 3D world, showing a little bit of the gallery and stuff. I will probably do a proper video on the gallery and all the extras at some point again. I would like to cover it again now. So there we go. This is the Japanese version, so you get the Japanese cartridges. Each of the different versions of the game actually show the relevant cartridges for the thing, and same with like the manuals and things. So the PAL version is all the PAL cartridge labels, the US version is all the US cartridge labels, which is a really nice touch. So it's actually one of those games that's quite nice to get all three versions. So we have Sonic the Hedgehog. And I don't know if the US version has some exclusive commercials. I think they could have included Sonic CD. I just think they didn't want to. As I mentioned, I think Yuri Nakai had a bit... he was known to have tantrums, from what I understand, in the... because he had a bit of a wobbly at Sega America for doing Sonic Extreme. And... so now, this is the thing. This one, because we've got digital manual, Japanese, English. Let's do the English. Now, here we go. Timeout on, so you can actually turn out timeout as a neat function. And we can have spin dash on, off. So this is the thing. This is not an emulated version. This is a redone port of the game. And you extract, you can do the special stages. You can do a special stage mini game. I believe this is the Japanese version of the Sonic, so you have the additional parallax scrolling in it. Nope. Well. To be honest, I'm not the Japanese art isn't always better. The Sonic stuff's sort of a bit. They're a bit they're really colourful. The Japanese artwork are not huge, but they're a bit just like colour splashes everywhere. So they're not the best art. The Japanese ones. They're normally Japanese art's normally a lot better, but occasionally. So here's the thing: you get 3 different difficulties in this version. We get normal and easy, which is new for the Saturn, and we have the original. So I'm actually going to do normal Saturn. Usually the Japanese art's better, but there are occasionally times where... Oh yeah, the code is actually different. It's actually up, down, 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 left, right. So do we have any particular zones we want to see? I could start from the beginning, but I thought I'd just test out that code to check that it actually works. The jingle at stage end, yeah. Let's do... which is one? I suppose green zone is the iconic one. Let's quickly do Spring Yard zone. And I'll do Green Hill. But this, we have the spin dash in Sonic 1. And bear in mind, this is not emulation. This is a rebuilt port of the game. So this is technically superior in many ways to the Mega Drive version. Some people may not like a few of the changes they made to these versions. I regard them as the best because this basically is bug fixes. Sonic 2 no longer has the messed up line at the bottom of the screen. This is just a completely rebuilt port of the game. Now, I did see Nakai actually say one of the reasons to do this was to increase Sonic's popularity in Japan. Because one of the things people forget is Sonic the Mega Drive wasn't hugely successful. In fact, I think in terms of Japanese consoles, the Sega Saturn was Sega's most successful console. In fact, I seem to recall when I checked the numbers, although I can't be 100%. I think when I checked the numbers, the Mega Drive and the Dreamcast did not combined did poorer than the Sega Saturn. Because the Saturn was such a successful console in Japan, at least in terms of against Sega. The Saturn was Sega's most successful console in Japan, which is some people, whenever they sort of often mock the Sega Saturn, they don't interject that fact that it was actually Sega's most successful Japanese console. I think they did slightly change some of this, like the Invulnerable music, but you've even got the classic Mega Drive colour palette selection in the background. So yep, you can look up and you can look down. It really is the very best version of Sonic the Hedgehog you can get. And what's irritating is when you play all the modern collections, none of them are as good as this because of all the extras, the additional features, the content this just had included. This is just a wonderful package. It just shows the developers cared about what they were doing. Whereas when you look at all the modern retro collections, they're just lazy emulation. They're just poor, older Mega Drive ROMs, so often you get bugs in them that were previously. You don't get the fixes, you don't get the extras like you did in this. You don't get the fixes like you did in this. If I have one gripe with this, is the fact if they were actually doing under the hood versions, they should have added in some additional content per game. So some people might find that a bit controversial, but I'd actually argue adding in additional hidden content would have been a really nice touch just to really put the nail in the coffin of all the Mega Drive versions of this game, of these games. Probably some Mega Drive fans going, but it's true. I mean, if you take your game and you port it directly to a system and you import it with improvements, it's a better game. Yeah, Sonic was always designed for speed, so it is a very fast game. Although not all the stages. So primarily Green Hill Zone, the first stage, is a real speed one. Marvel Hill Zone is in the second game, the second act in the first game. Got to think before I don't get a tongue twisted. Is much more a puzzle zone. Same with Labyrinth. So this game's actually an interesting mix. We see the lovely smooth scrolling. Just actually change zone. Just actually do the... It keeps and remembers the stage, so okay. And here we go with the actual speed. Let's do with the speed for this stage. And the other thing I'm going to be saying, so slightly controversial, is this Saturn's port gets rid of the issues with the Mega Drive audio systems. Because the Mega Drive, despite the fact it had great music, its actual output of that music wasn't always the best. And the early Mega Drive models, although people say, oh, well, it's got clearer sound, actually tend to distort it because they're too high. You often hear they have really clear volume, but actually when you listen to it, the reason they got really clear volume is they're really loud. The Mega Drive 2s, they tweaked it a bit, so they should have been better, but they had a weird dimness to the sound. So although it had stereo sound, often the Mega Drive 2s wouldn't sound quite as clear as the Mega Drive 1s. Although if you turn up the volume on a lot of Mega Drive 2s quite substantially, they sound almost as good or better than some Mega Drive 1s. It does really depend at what model. There's a lot of versions of the Mega Drive where you will get background hisses and other horrible audio noises that there is nothing you can do to get rid of them, and you literally have a Mega Drive in the background. I think the jingle's slightly different in this. I know one of them, they definitely changed the jingle for the Saturn's one, so some fans get a bit, oh, they changed this. The thing is, I don't mind them changing it when it's the original team who know what they're doing. Right, let's see if we can get the Chaos Gem this time as I'm actually doing it properly instead of the bonus mode. Fortunately, you can actually get as long as you like in this mode. It's just a case, right, I need to go down. Okay, that's the easiest stage to get the Chaos Emerald on. But I have actually beaten the game on the original Mega Drive with all the Chaos Emeralds, although it's definitely harder on the original Mega Drive purely because you don't... This one actually has a save function, the Saturn's one, so you can basically... Alright, let's show at least one Robotnik. I think... Does anyone want to see any other acts in Sonic 1 after this one? I don't mind showing 1 or 2, but I do want to jump onto Sonic 2. Because I think Sonic 2 is actually the best version by far. I think it's the Saturn's one. Hi Chris Ward, thanks very much for your donation. I love your work on the Saturn Power Locks lister. Did you know that in Clockwork Knight 2 Power version Pepperoni runs too fast? Oh really, it's actually enhanced? No, I'm not entirely sure there. I'll have to look that up. We don't have, I will be honest, I think Clockwork Knight 2 we've got down as PAL optimized, so I think... But thank you very much for your donation, much appreciated. That will go towards helping the channel. Just so you're interested, I am actually writing up a bit on forcing, so I don't know if you're a PS1 fan, but it is possible to force PS1 games into 60 Hz via a device known as the Import Lite. And I'm actually looking at that at the minute, and it is possible to get some PAL games to run at 60 Hz. Not all of them, the device is very much hit and miss, but it's interesting. But thank you very much for your donation towards the channel. And thanks to know you appreciate the Hertz list. It's always great. It's always very great to know you guys really appreciate it. So this is actually the NTSC-J version. It's the PAL version of this game. It's slightly optimized, although the games themselves I don't think are too bad. Although there are one of things I think there might be with the timing, but I think largely they were sort of it's just the 3D world that struggles at 60 Hz. It says not powerful. Okay, thanks, Charlie. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks for the information. I will look into that then. We've got the Japanese copy of Clockwork Knight, so not non-PAL opt. Says non. Okay, I will look into that. Thank you very much for letting us know. I will add a little credit to the list if it's once I've checked it out. You know, I must admit I wouldn't be surprised if it was the walking animation was improved, because they did tend to do that for a lot of games where they'd improve the walking animation and not much else, so I will do a check on that. Thank you for letting us know. Okay, I will say we only test against actual CDs, so real hardware, because we need to be sure it occurs on real hardwares. So, and we need to be sure it occurs with real images as well, because the problem with dumps on the internet, so we need to always do it against real hardware in order for a test, although you can use emulators as a rough guide. Yeah, I remember, Charlie. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, I'm still, but I mean, just the other day I had a look and found out Space Hulk was optimized. So there are still going to be mistakes on that list. We're not perfect yet. It's going to be a long way before it is perfect. We need to go. I wouldn't be entirely happy with it until we've compared every single game with the. It's an onboard drive, but you're still comparing images rather than the actual CDs, so there can still be slight issues with it. For the utmost best version, we need an actual CD checked against the two CDs. But yeah, I know the state drives and everything are fantastic and great for checking it, because we've actually checked against the real hardware. So I know you can have the onboard devices now with the new digital drive, so you can have optical things, but it's still not quite the same as having the original disc images, because you never quite know if there are issues with the burns. But generally it'll be about 99.999% correct, the images. As long as they're good dumps, you should be good, but there's always that slight possible chance of some erroneousness. So does anyone else want to see me do... Actually, I'll do another act on Sonic 1. So I'll do one last stage on... We're only a small YouTuber at present, so we are gaining in membership, so... Well, the cheat didn't come up that time. So, can I get it by pressing A and... So just hold down A and start, or does it need to... Yeah, it does save it. Labyrinth Zone. I was actually always liked Labyrinth Zone. Well, actually, we've had a really good year on the channel, so we are ever growing. But then I don't expect to grow... Yeah, we will go. We've had a really, really good year on the channel, so, I mean, thanks for everyone's support. I did put up a message on the channel. Much appreciated for everyone's support so far. We've had a really, really good year. In fact, I'm hopeful to get 3,000 subscribers before the 7th of October, which would mean that we've done it in... gained a new 1,000 in under a year, or just around a year, which is quicker than we get. So our original 1,000 took something like 3 years. Our next 1,000 took like a year and a half. After that, I think a year and 6 or 7 months. And the latest 1,000 has taken just a year. So we have grown spectacularly, which has really pleased me. I always really enjoyed Labyrinth Zone, especially because of the water effects of how the background moves. But thank you again, Charlie, for your donation. Really appreciate it. It will go towards helping do more research on the channel. Ironically, I did buy Golden Axe the Duel to actually do a comparison. Although I've checked against the arcade version, I wanted to see how the Japanese Saturn version compared to the PAL one, because there's a lot of issuing where the optimization of the screen resolution in PAL games is actually distorted, where they do a weird distortion as a result, so they don't, when you actually look, although they're full screen, you have a weird sort of screen distortion. Although there are 1 or 2 anomalies even we don't have at the minute, as I'm trying to source, I will at some point source a true NTSC Saturn, because we don't have one, and PAL Switch Saturns can have some slight variables to true NTSC Saturn, so that's something I do need to work on for the future as well. But thank you for that information on the Clockwork Knight 2. I will look into that and update. But yeah, I'm actually surprised we've got that as non-optimized now, because it is a Sega. I think sometimes the Sega games were rushed, and sometimes they weren't. So sometimes they are non-optimized horribly, and other times, yeah, I'll have to watch that. I didn't think they fiddled around with the walking speed, but I will look into that. So I'm going to ask, guys, which Sonic game do you want me to see next? Now we've shown you a bit of... Right, I'll exit out a bit of... I won't do all of Labyrinth Zone. Luminek, we've already done 48 minutes of this stream, and I didn't want to go on for too long, so... Do you guys have preferences as to which Sonic game you want to see next? Sonic 2, Sonic 3, or Sonic and Knuckles? Seeing as Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I'll probably only show one of them, but I will have a quick look at Sonic 2. But yes, I am actually been working on a PlayStation PAL optimization list, or at least a brief look at one at the minute. There's not really a good way to force PS1 games into 60Hz at present. It can be done via a device known as Import Lite, provided you've got a modded Sonic 3 Air. I'm not sure what Sonic 3 AIR is, I have to admit. But one thing you'll notice is the change. So Sonic 2, if you ever played the actual Mega Drive version, has a weird graphics line down the bottom, which I don't know why they had to do it, but they fixed that graphics line for this version. I'm not sure why it was in the original Mega Drive version. There must have been a technical reason for it. Although one of the big things is the design of this. So Sonic CD is technically the true sequel to Sonic 2 in terms... Sonic 1 in terms of design, as Sonic 2 was not developed by primarily all of Sonic Team. Oh, that was the 50, yes. But we had the fantastic bonus stage, which is a technical marvel. This was actually developed largely by the Sonic Team US, I think. A lot of the US team were involved in this, whereas the Japanese team were working on Sonic CD. So Sonic CD is technically the true sequel to Sonic 1. It's worth noting I don't like to stream homebrew games using assets because technically they're not, from a legal standpoint, you need to own the originals. They also need to be like the original titles. If they're sort of homebrew games, there can be some legal issues with them. And I realise some developers are fine with that, but we have to cover our backs from a legal perspective. So here's the thing, often slowdown is actually implemented in a game for a reason. Sometimes it is because the game is literally slugging down. Sometimes the slowdown is intentional for gameplay purposes, and a lot of people don't realise that. And it's actually getting that balance right, because some people don't realise that some elements of the slowdown is intended. Like often when bosses explode in shooters and you get rafts of slowdown, it's actually intentional. Yeah, you see, I always still like the original versions done by the team. So if they did a new port, Sonic Jam would be fantastic. But I like to stick to true versions, so to speak, because these are the versions the developers did. I'm always a little bit hesitant about fan stuff on a lot of things. I think one of these musics was actually changed. It's the Speed Dash music in Sonic 1 as well. I know there's definitely a few changes. Some people... I always find, as I said, I do really like this version of Sonic Jam. I do think this is by far, for me, the best version. It's certainly better than all the modern sort of emulated collections. So, missing all the secrets. I'll do the first 2 acts and then... Chemical Plant Zone is a good one to show, and then I'll jump to Sonic 3. I need to actually finish tonight because I'm hoping to video Sonic... I want to do a bit of video on Sonic R, and I also... I'll do the second one for fun. For me personally, I still think it's the best way to play the original Sonic game, so... The music reset, yeah, there's probably a few things like that, because of course you've got the memory. Yeah, the Saturn can't actually fully load certain Mega Drive games, so the Saturn's memory is not big enough to load every Mega Drive game into it. Because I know they had that issue with the Fancy Star collection. This is one of the things I hate Tails. So in 2-player mode, one of you can play as Tails, and you can actually really literally get almost every ring. But in this mode, Tails can be a bit of a hindrance when he gets, because he can be a bit slow to react. all. Not enough rings. I can certainly have a look, but from a legal perspective, streaming fan games is... I know a lot of people do it, but from an actual legal perspective, it's a bit risky, unfortunately. Because you never know if the game... If suddenly... Because Nintendo and even developers will take down... Certainly if you're releasing streaming early beta content, you're going to get into trouble. As the idiot did the other day with the new Mortal Kombat. They leaked files from the game, so... I mean, you're okay with the older games generally, but you still officially need legal clearance for some of them, so... But yeah, no, I'll definitely have a look at it off some of those games offline when I get a chance to. I'm inundated with games, sadly, so it might be some time. But I do try to look at as much as I can do. So thanks for all the guys on the stream, much appreciated to everyone. Do keep hitting those like buttons, I'm really glad you're enjoying the stream there. I'll just show you a quick bit of chemical. So what I'm going to say is, from a legal perspective, when it comes to games, it's a lot more complicated on IP law than what people will say. You'll often get people say, "Oh, disclaimer if you have XYZ." Just for clarification, because I actually studied law, a lot of people say, "Oh, if you have XYZ, it's fine." It's not actually, because the license you have when you buy Sonic the Hedgehog is the license you have is to play Sonic the Hedgehog in its intended form, not to play with the assets or anything. Literally any cartridge you ever buy, even at retail, it's just a license to play the game as it's actually intended by the developers. So you're not necessarily allowed to modify it. I mean, different laws do depend where you are in the world, so there are different variants, because of course the general rule is that technically, officially, it's a license for just playing the game as it is. It's legal is a really... One of the problems we actually have with YouTube is a worldwide platform, but every country has its own rules, and technically it's a real difficult thing to actually cover, because technically you can't actually cut... So what's legal in some countries is not legal in the others, so YouTube's a really interesting thing, and I think inevitably there's going to have to be a worldwide law governing system, if I'm being honest, and so you actually avoid some of the quirks that we currently have in these systems, but I think we're a long way off that. I don't really want to go into political discussions, so, but yeah, it's... Hello there, member. No, it's not quite. It's... Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Charlie, but having studied law, it's a lot more complex, and I could spend hours going on to it with you, so I'll leave that discussion there. But hello to my Japanese user. Thank you for joining the stream. Hello, and thank you again, Charlie, for your donation. That's really appreciated. I will put that to... I will definitely look into Clockwork Knight 2. I really do appreciate that, and I will, for your information, really do appreciate that. I will look into that. And by all means, if you want to help, by all means, just drop a comment on one of the videos, or just leave it in the community chat if you've got anything else you'd like to let us know. But yes, thank you again for your donation. I really appreciate that. It will definitely go towards... I think all donations will eventually go towards helping fund the channel and funding new acquisitions, because I would love to do a lot more Hertz testing on a lot of the other formats, but the problem at the minute is just the cost and also the space as well. But we will try to do as much as we can do. I think I want to wrap up the Saturn stuff before I do another console fully, but I will be providing... I don't know if you play PS1, Charlie, but there's some really interesting stuff I hope to have on the blog in the next week or two. We'll be looking at how to play some PS1 games at 60 Hz, although the downside is that the software we're using isn't great. And hello to my... sorry, I can't pronounce your name in Japanese, so... Yeah, I'm aware there's an unreleased North American version of Deep Fear. You can technically play it on Saturns if you have an official boot disc. We've actually now got a Japanese version of Deep Fear as well, so we can actually play it at full speed. I think they may have, and I actually need to check, but I think they may have done a bit more. They may have optimised the movies, I think, the PAL version of Deep Fear as well. So I wonder if the animation intros aren't running quite correctly at PAL. I will need to do more research, but there's definitely a lot of the research we're doing is still only the early days. Like I said, until we've actually effectively, I mean, I don't even know if we'll be able to ever get it done all, but until we've actually compared every... Adventures of Mickey Mouse. Yes, no you can't, because it's actually built for PAL and doesn't work. You can't play it at 60Hz because it's built for PAL, Charlie. I've actually tried the Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse. It doesn't work properly at 60Hz because it's built for PAL, unfortunately. But that does mean that you do have to accept the lower screen resolution. Although the PS1 does have proper 576 support, so there are a lot of PS1 games. So it's not as bad as you think. A lot of those games are actually properly designed to support PAL, so actually run at the same speed as they would if they were the NTSC version. But yeah, it's really, that one's an interesting one. I have actually tested that one because it was a PAL exclusive. It doesn't run correctly at 60Hz. There's a crash in it. When I tried it, there was a few issues. Oh, I didn't realise it actually got to the Chemical Zone boss. But yeah, you raise a good point. There are some really good PAL exclusive games on the PS1. And quite a few of them. Another one is Viper, we covered on the channel. That again is also built for 50Hz, I discovered. So, and I have discovered Breath of Fire 3 seems to have has been tweaked for 50Hz, even though it's running at really slow speeds. So it's not correctly optimized for PAL, but it's running at oh, we've got to make it off there. This is actually one of the easier bosses, but it's that weird drop. But yeah, sadly, the Mickey Mouse, they actually cancelled a PS3 release on it, I discovered. So I think they may have had an issue when they tried to run. They may have seen the same issues I've been seeing when we run it at 60Hz. It can be played at 60Hz, but it's not ideal. I'm just actually going to say hi to I'm just going to try and... Yeah, no worries, Charlie. It's... I'm just going to see my Japanese gamer friend. What his name is. Toshiko Fishery. Thank you for joining the stream. Oh, hi. Yeah, I think it's Toshiko Fishery. Apologies if I get the translation wrong, but thank you for joining the stream. My Japanese is not as good as it could be. In fact, my Japanese I would say konnichiwa. I should really say, because we do get a lot of Japanese viewers on the channel, so konnichiwa to... that's thank you, but konnichiwa Nippon. I just thank you, Japan, for making such good... Yeah, if there's a patch, then that may address the issues, although I'm not entirely sure if all patches will do really address it, because what you actually need to do with a lot of those games is you have to slow them down because they're not running at the correct speed at 60Hz, because the developers, if it's a properly built PAL game, the speed it will be running at is the intended game speed, and at 60Hz it will be too fast, and a lot of people don't realise that. Because I've worked in the industry, I actually had one of the developers tell me about one of the games, and they had that issue where he said we built it directly for PALs. It was a Sony-led project by Sony Europe, and he said, well, when we actually went and did the NTSC version, it was running too fast. And they said they didn't quite fix... Well, they said they fixed it, but I think they had to address the speed mapping, and I don't know whether they kept the speed at the correct... I think I may... Ooh. Oh, that's a bug. That is a bug. Okay, so I'm going to jump into... Hello everyone again. If you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. Does anyone have any preferences over Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles? I'm only going to do one of them before I wrap up tonight's stream. So, because they're the same game as well, effectively. But Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles? Does anyone have any preferences? I think preferences 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do Sonic 3. But thank you again for the likes on the stream. As always, thank you again. I know we got loads of likes on last night's stream. I think because it was an unexpected playthrough of Sonic R, and I will do a proper 4K video on the channel when I can do it. I'm also going to play through Blazing Tornado again as the final boss, so... I do think the Saturn's version might add a bit of bass on it. It's a clear save file. So I'm going to ask, guys, what's your own personal favourite of the Sonic Mega Drive games? I think mine, personally... So not including Sonic CD, I absolutely love Sonic CD. I think probably for me on the actual Mega Drive in total, including Mega CD, Sonic CD is my most favourite game. But I think for me, I still have a soft spot for the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not sure how they did the music. I do know the tactic you mentioned. They did do some emulations via that. Some did. Some you have to remember it's possible for the Saturn to load in. But yeah, you could be right. They could have recorded the audio. But I think they used a lot of the Saturn stuff, like on Thunder Force. You can actually hear more bass in it, implying they recoded the music. But I don't know how they did it for Sonic Jam. It's without knowing how the developers did it directly. Although you can sometimes, some of the Saturn games, when you open them, will have like a CD file of all the music available. I mean, it may have been recorded music, or it may well be. They have also been known to do some really ninja things. So what's my all-time favourite Saturn game? As me as editor, technically, I'm going to be honest, I don't directly have a favourite game. Because there's so many really good Sega Saturn games. If you want one of my one of my top games on Sega Saturn, so there are some really great ones. But if you had to push me, I would probably say Shining Force 3. But I think Shining Force 3, Panzer Dragoon Saga are all brilliant. And I mean, there's just so many great games on Saturn. But yeah, if I was pushed, I would say Shining Force 3. I don't actually. I think that's probably my. But I don't like to say my favourite game because I always like lots of games, so I don't ever have a particular favourite one. But seeing as I've always been a big fan of Shining Force 3, I'll say Shining Force 3, which is a brilliant game. Or I should say Shining Force 3 Scenarios 1, 2, 3 and the Premium Disc to be exact. And we haven't actually covered Shining Force 3 on the channel much. I think I included it in one of the videos we did. I should really do. Yeah, I mean, they're all great games. They are brilliant. I mean, I really love Saturn Bomberman as well. I completely agree with you. So if you're going to fight as Mega Mix. So I'd probably say, I think 3D fighters wise, yeah, I'd probably say Mega Mix as well. Saturn Bomberman, yeah, it was a brilliant game. Panzer Dragoon Saga. I mean, if you'd push me for the other genres, so racing wise, I think for me it has to be Daytona USA CE. I just love that version. Some people don't like it as much, but I just always enjoyed it. So Shining Force, there's Shining Force 3 RPGs. I mean, 2D fighters, I would have to say Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, which I just think is phenomenal. I mean, Guardian Heroes is phenomenal. It's fantastic scrolling beat 'em up. I've spent so long playing that. What else was there? What else were really top games? There's so many titles I'm gonna completely forget. Virtual on Cyber Trooper as well. Actually, probably I probably prefer Virtual on to Mega Mix just because I just really absolutely love Virtual on Cyber Troopers. But Mega Mix is probably technically the better game. Oh. Yeah, we'd have to agree to disagree on that, Charlie. I don't like the Xbox 360 version at all of Guardian Heroes. Panzer Dragoon's Wheel as well, I think it's probably the best shooter. Speaking of shooters, how many of you are aware of a game, there's a shooter called Psy that was hidden on a canard? I can tell, Charlie, you haven't checked our channel because we've actually got a video of the PS2 version. The PS2 version is phenomenal and is a better version, but I have such love for the Saturn's version, seeing as that was one of my... I think that was the first game I bought on the Saturn with my own money, Virtual on Cyber Troopers. I'm thinking about it. Because we had the demo, and I remember playing that a lot on Christmas. There's actually a few negatives. The combat system, they adjusted the combat system. They actually are missing out some of the music and elements. So the game over screen's missing with the Rift music. The 12-player verse mode doesn't work either because it was intended as a 6-player game. There's a few other issues with it. The visuals have not been correctly... The presentation is not as good. They've slightly altered the presentation in the way it's not as seamless. The intro hasn't been correctly updated for Xbox Live and a few other issues. It's not, I mean, if you haven't played Guardian Heroes, it's still a great way to play it. It's still a decent port, but I just don't think it's as good as the Saturn's version. It's the same with my opinion of Treasure made some bizarre design changes with a few of Radiant Silvergun as well, so I don't like the XBLA version as much of Radiant Silvergun because they altered the story mode. It's a shame because Silvergun's still a brilliant game on the Xbox, but basically playing through story mode is like tripled the length now because of the changes they made, where they changed it so that instead of getting an extra credit when you died, you only get an extra life, so it means the game takes about, you just have to unlock tons of lives. I think I'm going to die underwater here. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, the visuals, the sweet side cheek, the change to the visuals, and the game, the awesome game over screen has a great musical riff, and that's missing from the XBLA version, and that really annoys me. The fact the game over, when you die in Guardian Heroes, if you get to the game over screen on the Saturn's one, you get a proper like bang, 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 and it's like proper game over screen with just this superb guitar riff, and that's missing from the Xbox Live version. And the other thing, of course, the intro's not been properly converted over either, which is an odd thing. The thing is, I've scaled up the intro myself, so I don't know why Treasure didn't do that. They didn't scale it up to 1080p or 720p, so that was an odd one. But it's still a very good version, the Xbox Live version. It adds in 12-player mode that doesn't quite work. Oh, I've hit this. I'm chatting away there. But yeah, I mean, it's still a very good version. I wouldn't tell people not to buy it, but I'd say I just slightly prefer the Saturn's version. Yeah, it's a really small window, the way they've redone the intro, so that there are a few oddities. But yeah, it still looks fantastic, Sonic 3. I think some of these later Mega Drive games really do look wonderful, even for the animation is so good. They really did take the limits and just made sure they took advantage of them. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Actually, I'll quickly finish this stage and then I will do one level as Knuckles, if nothing else, just to show Knuckles in Sonic 3 when he's playable. Oh yeah, I'd love to see Guardian Heroes brought to... I mean, it's always disappointing. So, I don't know if you've played... Technically, there's two sequels to Guardian Heroes, Charlie. So, you have... There's Guardian Heroes 2... Guardian Heroes Advance on the GBA, which isn't great. Then there's also the game that was supposed to be Guardian Heroes 2, but Sega didn't fund it, so they had to do it themselves, Treasure, and that was Code of Princess, which is basically a spiritual successor to Guardian Heroes. Code Princess on the 3DS, this Treasure game. That's really good, and I highly recommend you play it if you haven't. That was like an unofficial Guardian... Oh, that did sound right, that sound effect. Really, there are one or two sound effects aren't quite as good on the Saturn version, but I do just prefer the Saturn's version. Really bassy there, and here goes with a little mini boss. So we don't. This Sonic 3 is the first one that starts introducing mini bosses per stage. Yeah, Code of Princess or Princess. Let me just confirm it is Code of Princess. Oh, yeah, Code of Princess. It's also on Steam actually. So, oh wow, I didn't realise it was on Steam. Here's Code of Princess. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I highly recommend it. If you enjoyed Guardian Heroes, I highly recommend Code of Princess. So I'll do this, and I'll do one quick stage on Sonic and Knuckles as Knuckles, and then I will wrap the stream up. I actually do need to get... Sorry, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Yeah, no, I highly recommend Code of Princess. So, guys, what's your favourite Sonic game again? I didn't hear much people saying what their favourite Sonic game. I think, as I said, mine was Sonic 1. You see, we can actually get it while it's... You can get Robotnik down while he's... But if you've got... Oh, yeah, got the blade attack as well. Okay, that's embarrassing. Beaten by Robotnik. So the problem with chatting away and actually trying to... Check out a few videos first, Charlie, if you can just make sure it's a game, it is your type of game, because I know I'll often recommend things to some people and they'll say, oh, I didn't like that, but I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed that, so I do. I'm just going to quit out. I'll quickly do Knuckles. I will see if I can get around to it for sure. I've just got so many games to try out. I don't tend to look at as much homebrew as I would do, but I'll have a look at Sonic Air. I will have a look at that. Actually going to do no lock on. I will look. I do look at some fan games. We have covered one or two, but largely... don't cover them too much. There was one of them. There was a Sonic fan game a little while back that was fantastic, and was it Time Warp? That was really good, and I really enjoyed that. I'm going to be cheeky and say I actually enjoyed that Time Warp more than I enjoyed Sonic Mania. I appreciate Sonic Mania is a very nice game, but the developers were largely going over old ground in it, and when they started to do their own thing, a lot of the developers, like I know Chris Whitehead worked on it, I did feel like the team weren't that confident in actually making their own Sonic game. They felt like they knew what to do when they were tinkering with the existing levels, but not when they were actually having to do their own stages, because the stages are a bit too long and some of these elements they add in aren't that good. But when they're reusing stuff, oh, I see it's an update for Sonic 3. Okay, I'll definitely have a look at that at some point. Thank you for the advice. There are a few patches. I remember with the Knights of the Old Republic 2, there was a fixed patch, wasn't there, for infamously fixed a load of bugs in Knights of the Old Republic 2 and a lot of other games. So, I'm going to say again, what's your favourite Sonic game, guys? Come on. Got 4 of you in the chat. Or at least if we got 4, at least a couple of people watching. I said, for me, it's definitely the original Sonic of the Mega Drive releases. I didn't mind it. It's not a bad game. I don't dislike Sonic Mania. I don't think it's as good as what a lot of people raved about. I felt it wasn't as strong as it could be. It's not a bad game. It's a nice Sonic game. It's certainly better than a lot of the other official ones. Sonic Generations was actually quite good. Can you guess your favourite Sonic game? I'll take a hint. It's Sonic. I'll take a guess. It's Sonic 3, Charlie. I'm actually going to be quiet while I try and do this one because I keep... Oh! Okay, just... I'm not doing that one either. Yeah, no, I asked for the original Mega Drive ones, so I assume Sonic 3. I said so the original 3 Sonic of the original Mega Drive games when I was originally said what was everyone's favourite of the original 4 Mega Drive ones. So I take it you like Sonic 3 then. I said I think for me the original Sonic. I think for me, the original Sonic still has a special place in my heart. I think from a technical point, I'd actually say Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a fantastic. Really shows what the Mega Drive could do at the end, which is a fantastic combination of a game. Here we go. This mid-boss fight. So as with Sonic 3, you actually get mid-boss fights in this one. They took. Sonic Crackers. That was the prototype for Sonic. Oh yeah, I forget Chaotix. Although that's technically not a Sonic game. I actually quite enjoy Chaotix, but it does have issues. It's not a perfect game, Chaotix. That's right, I can jump up when he's doing before he swings. So I don't know if you played Chaotix, guys. It is actually quite a good game. It's got some interesting concepts. It doesn't quite work in every area, but it's much better than what I was expecting. Although there's some weirdness where it randomly picks the stages you play, so it's not a conventional Sonic, and that's slightly irritating. And it's really hard to actually get the best ending in Chaotix as well. We haven't actually done that here at Randomised Game. We finished it, but we didn't get all the emeralds. The bonus stages are really, really impressive. If you've not seen the bonus stages in Chaotix, just look at a video of them on YouTube or something. They are fantastic. And I should actually say we should cover them on the channel at some point, because we have got it, and we really did really enjoy them. So we will cover Chaotix at some point on the channel. Although we had to go for a Japanese version because that was quite a lot cheaper than the PAL version. I think you pay about. I do like the way this stage changes from. Oh, I was hoping to get that bonus stage. Never mind. I've just beat. I'm gonna basically. Yeah, there's the wind chap. I do like that enemy. The fact it actually gives you the wind. Because it's something you didn't see before, where something's pushing you as you're moving, so... But yes, I will be getting a PS1 article out on forcing, although it's only a preliminary one. Hopefully in the next few days. It may take a bit longer. I want to do a video on it. I really want to cover it in more depth at some point, but the problem is the software at present is not great that we're using to force, so I'm really hoping I can get in touch with the community and hope that they can perhaps do an updates on it. It's one of the weird things that the PlayStation community seems to have, there's a lot of the Saturn actually is quite a big homebrew and fan community. The PS1 doesn't these days. I think that's because the PS1, largely a lot of the fans of it were actually mainstream gamers, so subsequently moved on to other consoles, whereas Saturn fans are still sort of really loyal to the console. So I'm surprised that there's... Okay, that's what I've got to get. I've got to get that thing, and then... Can I do that? Yeah. try. See if I can actually win one of these bonus stages for a change. And of course, if you close, so if it's a circle with all blue dots and you complete the circle, then it will turn them all into rings. But it can't be like a circle with like a metal ball in the middle. It must be. Okay, so I didn't do that one in the right order. Some of these ones you've got to be really... Some of these may just get quite tricky. Right. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of intro. I did actually have someone message me a week or two back and say they'd done a list and they provided a link to the list. They'd done a list of what Mega Drive games were region coded. They hadn't said whether they'd checked it against real games. But they had a list of every game that had sort of that did have region locks on the Mega Drive, but it was just some obscure person who sent me a link, and then they didn't. But yeah, it's someone had done it, but they'd obviously done it for like a little fan project. But it was an interesting list. It did cover all the region stuff, so someone had done it. Basically, they'd done a release list of every sort of Saturn Mega Drive, and I shouldn't sit on there. But yeah, there are some fan projects, but often they're really quiet, so it's quite hard to actually find them. I will definitely look into that Clockwork Knight issue. Thanks for letting me know again, Charlie. Because I know our list is far from complete, because like the other day I discovered Space Hulk was definitely PAL optimised, so... Oh, and that's right. Sonic will fight Dr. Robotnik in these, whereas Knuckles will have the egg robots. And this one's actually, that's right, this one's actually a running stage, and I've just lost all my gym. Oh, hang on, but that's the Robotnik damage information, despite the fact it's supposed to be the egg robot. So a little bug there, yep. That's a bug, isn't it? Is that in the original Mega Drive version? Get some extra hits there. I will also do a more in-depth video as... Yeah, no, they wrote a nice little... They sent a link to a list. I'll provide you a link, Charlie, to it if I can... I'll grab it on Twitter. So you can have a look at that list that they sent me. It's always really nice to see fan projects like that, although I think there's a lot of fan projects. I think the PlayStation community is the one that quite surprised me because they're really quiet. Let me just grab that. There's a slightly weird rainbow colour effect I'm just noting. I wonder if that's intentional. Let me just... Yeah, it was quite a nice little resource this, so I'll just send you a link. So it was put together by some people, I think they said from one of the... And it's compiled together by people from some... So basically, some of the Sega Discord, Sonic Retro and Sega Retro. So show if you just land on that, you actually stop those, and they actually launch you up as well. I mean, sometimes you can find those. You will sometimes find fans often do those information resources, but it can sometimes be really hard to find them because Google can be a terrible search engine at times these days. There's a lot of times I know there's like fan sites for games, but trying to find them on something like Google, it's just awful. It's not sometimes the information's out there, it's just actually finding someone who's actually got the information or who's actually hosting it. For Saturn stuff, I highly recommend Sega Retro and Saturn, which is a brilliant resource list. Even we use Saturn as well, and Sega Retro. Both are... Okay, thanks, Charlie. Thanks. I was surprised for a second donation. Just the one's more than enough at the minute. But thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you for your information. I am gonna... I'm actually gonna wrap up in a sec. I will take a look at Sonic Air after this. That's no problem. It's always well worth sharing fan. When I get people send me stuff for fan community stuff, I do pass it around because it does need. It's really great when people do that, and often I know a lot of people. It can be hard getting noticed and recognised. I did tweet about it, but I know we only. I've only got a relatively small Twitter at present, so I tweet about on my one. We also got the randomised gaming Twitter as well. So by all means, guys, do share out that we're aiming to try and get 3,000 subscribers. Because I'd really love to see if we can get 3,000 subscribers by October 7th. We should do it. I will be doing a new Bomb Man stream tomorrow, which will be a crowd play one, and then I might be doing some more Stadia stuff in the near future as well. I will definitely be streaming more Saturn stuff. I will actually be looking at, hopefully, a slightly obscure Sega Saturn shooter in the next few days as well. Yeah, it's actually got Master System, Dreamcast, and I think it's got pretty much everything on it. Saturn actually lists the Saturn games that are region free. So the Saturn is a brilliant Saturn resource. It actually lists all the Sega Saturn games. So there are a handful of Sega Saturn games that are actually region free to play. Probably should chat a little bit more about Sonic and Knuckles, but I think it's such a... Yeah, I know it's a really good list. I was sent to it for you. As I said, I didn't say it was... I actually tweeted about it a few weeks back. But like I said, we get a lot of people contact us, so... But that was a nice little list, so it's really helpful. There, they said they covered Mega Drive. It means a really nice little list there they did. It says Sega Retro. It's supposedly Sega Retro, Sega Discord, Forum, and a few other bits. Yeah, I'm going to finish off Sonic and Knuckles in a second. Yeah, because I probably chatted a little bit too much about Hertz during the stream. Although, to be honest, I think the Sonic games, this Sonic Jam is such a wonderful collection. It's I think everyone knows how good it is. I'm going to wrap up in a second, so I'm going to thank you all for your likes. Very much appreciate the donations, Charlie. They will go towards funding other Hertz projects and hopefully picking up a title or two so we can do testing. There's still quite a lot of games we would like to get 60Hz versions of and look at more in detail over time. I mean, I'm not going to say the Hertz list is perfect yet. There's still going to be problems with it. But I'm just going to... I think I might actually just wrap this up here and now because I need to try and do a bit of Sonic art and... Coming up to... Oh, I didn't realise I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours now. But yeah, that list is really handy if you want a little release list. So the guy sent it to me a few weeks back, which is really nice. I think they wanted a bit of publicity, so I did tweet about it and gave them some tweet. But this is the thing, a lot of people, it's actually getting out there and sharing it, because I have actually tweeted. So the retro community can be a bit difficult to share with. So just to make a note, I've actually shared on the blog. If you guys look on the blog now, a few posts down, there's a piece on Virtual On. For those who don't know, and I really want to get this out there, the Sega have released a collection in Japan on the PS4 of Virtual On Cyber Troopers and Virtual On Force. I think it's like 20 quid. So it's a collection of all four. It's a collection of all three Virtual On arcade games. That is out on PS4 right now in Japan. So that's now a year old. Sega have so far no plans to release it in the West. So I really want to try and get... the message out that I really want to see that gets released. In fact, I was using a tag. So if you're on Tumblr, please do share that link, because I really want to get that out. Because it's difficult to... some of the retro community can be very... how to say... I think a lot of people are very much in for their own end, so they won't necessarily tweet. They're happy for you to tweet their stuff, but when you start tweeting, you know, like saying we want people to look at this or help get this game released, then they won't tweet anything. So that really annoys me about some of the retro community. But yes, I am looking to try and hopefully get that Virtual On collection released in the West, but so far it's not. And I would really, because I'd love a collection of the three Virtual On arcade games on the PS4, but right now, so there's a blog piece on it, and I really want that piece shared. So if you can share it with as many people, please do. I should actually provide another tweet on it as well on my random game Riven. Okay, this is the mini boss. I think this one I've got to... yeah, I've got to hit... it's got to hit its head, as I recall. Okay, I'm going to end this stream after this. Ooh. Mini boss fight. I'll just quickly go back to the Sonic world as well, just to... you're waiting for the bombs to fall at that point and break the floor. I don't think it's too long. I'm a little bit rusty, so once you get used to it, you'll probably beat it quicker. I think generally the levels on this are quite big, so I'm going to finish Sonic and Knuckles there. And thanks again for everyone and all the likes. Really appreciate it. just going to quickly nip back to the Sonic 3D World. Was there anything people wanted to see in the 3D World before I finish? We just have a little listen to the music and the wonderful, so we can exit there. Oh, just such a lovely thing as we showed with Knuckles. Only tails flying around, and the flickies as well. Right, I'm going to start wrapping up, everyone, so I hope you've enjoyed this stream. Please do hit that like button if you hadn't. Of course, if you're a new subscriber to the channel, please do hit the subscription. Thanks to Charlie, who's kindly donated towards randomised gaming. Very much appreciated it. Very much. Yeah, 2 donations there. Thank you very much, I will say. One was a surprise, so you are officially our first Super Chat donator, so thank you, Charlie. Actually put that towards the Golden Axe the Jewel acquisition I made today, which I hope to actually show. We will be showing Golden Axe the Jewel tomorrow. I'm actually waiting for it to arrive, but assuming it does arrive, we will show that in tomorrow's stream. But I mean, this is such a lovely collection. In fact, I'll just quickly show the manuals just before I go, because this you actually can view all the manuals in this one, although so on top of like the sound, the movies, I've got the Hall of Fame. I think this is the... No, I should have gone to the gallery, shouldn't I? I mean, there's so much. Yeah, you've got... Oh, that's right, this is the history. This is probably the one bit where it's better to watch the English version. Or to play on the PAL version, because it's got the history, it's got all the Sonic releases. There's such a lovely collection, so much information. Admittedly, it's a bit out of date now, seeing as it only covers up to Sonic Jam, but it's such a nice... It's got, like, Sonic... some historical events as well. Thanks for joining the stream again. Have a good night, Charlie, because I know you're UK as well. So thank you very much for donating as well. Very much appreciated. And good night, sir. Thank you. I'm going to wrap it up now as well. Just quickly show this history, which is an interesting bit as it covers up to... Oh, it's got Sega Sonic. That was also missing in this one. It would have been really nice to see Sega. We've got Latin Master System version. Well, it's worth it to read the text, that's what I will say. That's the one thing you do want. And it's also nice the fact the PAL version comes with all the European manuals, etc. So that's the one thing. I appreciate it's 50 Hz. I'm well aware that it's not ideal, but there are some good things about the PAL version. The regionalisation of all 3 versions of Sonic Jam is really nice. The fact they did tailor it for all the regions there. So we got all the different games, the Pikachu, Sonic Drift. Interestingly, I think it's a couple of the games it actually says not released in like Europe in the PAL version. So you got the like, I think there might be 1 or 2 more. I don't think the Pico's covered in the. I need to check the PAL version at some point. It's been a while since I looked at it. I'm not sure all those releases are in the PAL version. So there's Chaotix again. That could have been on this collection. I think Chaotix and the. It would have been nice if the Sonic CD and Chaotix were included on this one, I will say. Yep, so you got the European exclusive Mega Collection there, which is quite nice. That one, incidentally, that collection's actually PAL optimised. So the normal Sonics aren't PAL optimised, but that one is. So that collection's a bit of a weird thing. It has like the 2 Sonics are partly optimised, but Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine isn't. Tails Adventure, which is a nice little game. Sonic 2 in 1. And the Labyrinth in Europe. And you got the Sonic Fighters, which nearly got a Sega Saturn port, supposedly. Sonic CD on sale. So yeah, we've got the PC version. So this one came out after the... Of course, we've got Sonic 3D Blast. Incidentally, Sonic 3D Flicky's Island wasn't released till '99 in Japan. Or was it late '98? It's actually the last Sega game, which is a weird thing. But it's a really nice history lesson in Japan. You've got screensavers and stuff. And Sonic will return. Just about. And Sonic is rolling to the future. Nothing will stop him. Indeed, you've got a lot of Sonic games that came after this. Yeah, you got the Japan there. You got the G Sonic, which is I think that's the only one. You get Sonic 3D Blast, which is like a kids one, G Sonic, but it's like there's quite a few obscure Sonic games on the Game Gear. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up with that little look. I might just do one of the commercials quickly, just because there's a lot of fun with the commercials. There's the image gallery here. I didn't look at the gallery before. So we've got Sonic and Miles. You had the Eggman in that additional gallery, but yeah, you got some wonderful art here in this gallery with the open source scan. We're using it. I should say again, I'm using an open source scan converter. This is a power modified 60Hz Saturn I'm running this on, and I'm using the NTSC-J version. We're using a region switch as well, so some really nice Sonic artwork here. So it's all really nice stuff. I love that crew. We actually put that one on the blog a little while back, so the original Sonic. I mean, really is lovely stuff. This really is such a wonderful package, Sonic Jam. If you do have a Sega Saturn, I highly recommend it, as long as you want to play the original Sonic games. But yeah, lovely stuff there. I'll do the loop of this one. So rugby. Or is that American football? Could be both. Probably American football, actually. Tennis. And there's the one with the rainbow and the snail again, and we've got Sonic and Friends. So to answer Jason, who played at the start, I think we might actually have an Amy one in here, possibly. Sonic and Tails, with just flickies in the background. I do love the music at this point as well. It's just so relaxing. Oh, we've got Sonic and Tails, we've got a Sonic Amy. Dr. Robotnik and Sonic. More flickies. Got Santa Claus in the background there. That one. I think it's mainly just the flickies in these pictures. But they are all really nice as well. You know, that reminds me of the Sega World in the Trocadero in London, or what was London. It got closed. I wonder if that was actually, this artwork was done as commission for it. Looks very similar. You literally had a huge elevator and like an entrance there. So there was actually a Sega World in London many years ago. It closed down. I was there back in, is it 96, 97? So it was really wonderful to see, but it was largely just arcade games and then a couple of rides that weren't that interesting. Oh, we have got Amy there. We've got Amy in the rock band and Knuckles on stream. Obviously, Dr. Eggman being the drummer. I think that might be... How many others? Oh, Amy's on the balloon there, so yeah, so you've got some really nice artwork here, and there's Sonic and his friends. So, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap up this look at Sonic Jam. I do hope you've all enjoyed it. I have been your host for this video, Random Gamer Riven, as always, on behalf of Randomised Gaming. So taking a nice deep breath there. So thank you again to all our commentators. Appreciate it again to Charlie, who's kindly donated towards the channel. That will go towards paying towards our research on some of the hurts and helping fund the channel. We're slowly building it up. So I will thank you all again. So I will say thank you, everyone. I have been your host for this randomised gaming video, Random Gamer Riven. And I wish you a good night, a good evening, good morning, or a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I will say again, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. It is very much appreciated and does help with the search of it. And as always, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, then please do consider hitting the subscribe button. I know a lot of channels do say that all the time. I'm guilty of it a little, but it's just really helpful. If you do like our content, please do come back, or at least just revisit us, even if you don't want to subscribe and get the notifications. We do put out, I do streams nightly from 9:30, and we do put out regular. At the minute, I've been streaming since the current world event, so we do put out regular videos, but at least on the weekend and sometimes the weekdays, I might reduce the streaming we do so I can concentrate, because it has slightly delayed some of the other video products. Ironically, as Charlie was mentioning about the hurt stuff, I've had to put some of that on the back burner while I've been streaming. But I will say thank you all for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream. At some point I will do a more in-depth video and look at all the hidden bonus content, so maybe that will crop up at some point on the channel. I'd like to do all the videos and everything, but I need to just do a check legally to make sure we're not going to get hit by a content ID or a copyright strike, because some of them are commercials for like animated sequels and things like that. So if I need to do due diligence on them to check we're not going to have issues. But thank you all for watching, everyone. I will wish you a good night, and it's me, Random Gamer Riven, signing out, the editor of Randomised Gaming. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's stream, which, if is good, should be. So we've got Super Bomberman online stream going out tomorrow, and we also have should be doing Golden Axe the Duel come 9:30. I'd put an if on Golden Axe the Duel at present, but thank you all for enjoying the stream, and I'll wish you all a good night, everyone. See you soon.